Okay, we have a green box. We have a live counter ticking up, so we should now be live.
Can
Which of
confirm we're
course
live.
means good. Which of course means welcome back to the Storytime Network. We're back with some Dragon Age Inquisition, and if you were here last time out, we got our asses handed to us by the boss.
The boss is very sorry for your loss.
Hmm. So, got a bit of an idea. Based on one of the strategies from the wiki. Let's see if it actually works.
Fingers crossed, knock on wood and all that jazz.
The basic strategy is that everybody is going to die regardless of what I do. So it's better off if I just do my own thing.
Seems reasonable. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for him. Oh, Jesus.
Well, I did take a hit, so that wasn't ideal.
That hit took out half your health bar. Jesus.
Yeah, it's not great. I never said this was a good strategy. Just that this was
But
a
it's a
strategy.
legitimate strategy.
It's just a strategy that does exist. Oh boy, Cool, just managed to dodge that one. As it is, I might still get hit by these.
Oh, it could be worse.
Could it?
It could be able to heal itself.
Don't tempt that fate.
I'm pretty sure none of the bosses, except for like a couple of humanoid bosses, can actually heal themselves in this game.
This is gonna take a while. I'm not even gonna... like, make the claim that this isn't gonna take a fucking age, but...
Oh yeah, no, you're gonna have to grind this fucker down.
But this is legitimately one of the better strategies that I could see.
Yep. Too bad you can't destroy those tentacles.
Very possible you can. I'm choosing not to.
I think the tentacles affect the health, but I could be wrong.
Probably could have gotten more hits in, but I'd rather be cautious.
Mm-hmm.
We're down about a third.
Yeah, close to half now.
I wouldn't go that far, but we are...
Getting there, yes.
Please, don't hit so close to me like that. Oh boy. Funnily enough, I hadn't planned on letting it touch me. Try.
I wonder why.
It's not easy. Things tend to pop up right in my path. Yeah, this is gonna take a while.
This is going to be quite a slog, yes.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna deny it, but this is what this boss fight is. Even if I went with the other strategy mentioned, was still gonna be a fucking slog.
Yep. There are bosses like this in a lot of RPGs, honestly. Are always a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But it is how it is, and once you're done with this, you're done with the DLC. You already got over 2/3 of his health down.
Yeah, maybe not as long as I feared. But at some point it's
Maybe.
gonna, you know, kick things up another notch, I'm sure.
Have you used your focus on it yet?
Just did.
Oh, yeah.
Did take you down
See,
some,
that's
to be
why.
fair.
Yeah, no, the focus will do that. You also gotta be careful not to fall off the ledge.
Yeah, I know. Doing my best.
When you try your best, but you don't succeed. When you get what you want, but not what you need. Etc., etc. You know the rest of the song, I imagine.
Yep. Ooh. Those ones
Honestly,
appear to
that's-
be atrophied.
That one's probably like one of my top 5 favorite Coldplay songs. It's just very good. Do you listen to much Coldplay?
Not really.
Understandable. That soft rock style isn't for everyone.
Oh, I don't like this bit. This bit gets me very nervous.
Yep.
Trying. You don't move very fast.
Go Mill. Go Mill, go Mill, go Mill, go Mill, go.
Run, 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 run. Like I said, I would rather...
Imagine you're just waiting on that skill to come off cooldown before you go for one last go.
It's gonna take more than one, I think, but I would rather be cautious with this and than get greedy, go for the kill, and die myself, and we have to do this all again.
Skill cooldowns could be worse on this game, honestly. It's not like in D&D where you have to, like, go for a long rest before a skill recharges.
Oh,
Or spell.
don't remind me. I've been playing enough Baldur's Gate for that to be annoying.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate, yeah. Speaking of Baldur's Gate, I played a little bit of it earlier today. I didn't realize how badly being a drow could fuck you over on some of the encounters.
How far
Like,
in are you?
I'm still on the opening beach. But I did the, I encountered all the party members who are available there. And I didn't realize that,
fuck you, you piece of shit.
yeah. I didn't realize that the tieflings who caught Lae'zel would instantly attack you if you were a drow.
Really?
Yeah. I had to use Gale to negotiate with them.
Really? They didn't attack
Yeah.
me.
That's weird. It's very weird.
Too loud. The song.
I don't think they attacked me. Also, this is one of those big deal things, capital B, capital D.
You cast some kind of spell. That shouldn't be possible.
Yeah, dwarves are not supposed to be able to use magic in
An
Dragon Age.
accident. Everything will be fine.
We should get help. You may be injured, or
I feel better than I ever have. Stronger, more alive.
Like, the only other
stone
dwarf who may have magical abilities that we know of is Sandal.
so have the tremors. But the song still
And Sandal's an
rings.
odd case.
It tells me things. The breach. That's what disturbed the Titan. It is calm now that it has a connection with one of its children. With me.
The Titan changed you, Volta. You need to be cautious.
I am different, but I am still a shaper. Isana. It's our word for lyrium, and we are taught that it is a gift from the stone. But there's so much more to it than we ever imagined. I was sent to the deep roads to recover lost history. This is only the beginning. I am staying here.
The Shabratal killed Lieutenant Wren, and they're still down here. Aren't you afraid?
Are you afraid?
I am.
Do you afraid?
I can see
Kinda.
myself.
The Titan is only the beginning? What else could there be?
Titans!
Roads are filled with wonders. Answers to questions we haven't thought to ask.
You know,
If you stay
I do think it's probably for the best that Team 4 Star's Attack on Titan and Bridge never really got off the
I have
ground.
my stone sense, and now
They probably
see
wouldn't have continued it that long.
safe.
Yeah. I do know that, like, Kaiser and Lanny mentioned that neither of them really finished, really caught up on Attack on Titan. They both fell off, like, around Season 2-ish, I think. And I don't really blame them.
In all of Thedas, you're the first dwarf ever to command the power of magic. Your help would be invaluable.
I forgot, does she go off and leave?
Surface. That world is yours.
Yeah, I mean,
Not mine.
leave Chimod stays here.
Ren's death.
Mm-hmm.
It all happened to bring me here.
If she wants to stay, that's her business. I'd like to see the sun again.
Nothing.
No, you can't leave. You gotta stay.
This won't be any different.
I am called to the Search Inquisitor. This is where I belong.
I'm leaving with more questions than answers. But that doesn't mean you have to. Just be careful.
I really hope we get Dragon Age Dreadwolf at some point. The Bioware layoffs were very concerning.
Will want to know what happened to you.
Tell them the truth. You don't know.
Let's go.
It's like EA is trying to make the company implode. Which, you know, wouldn't shock me.
Whoever is in charge of EA is a collection of dum-dums. You know,
This
that
is known, yes.
money-obsessed dum-dums. Except because they're dum-dums, they don't realize that what they're doing is actually, you know, reducing their opportunities for money.
He always
Mhm.
comes back. Pay up, Sauroka.
I mean, I've come back up, like, several times now.
Yep.
Anywho, we leveled up in the middle of that.
That's nice. Ooh. That's actually pretty good.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, that's the best choice. I think we picked up some stuff.
Ooh, Bolt could use that.
Yeah, that's
Fucking
definitely
massive.
better. Of course, one of the things we got from that was a fucking bow.
Unfortunate. Is how it is, though.
That was one of the only big things. Right. Before I go, I'm just gonna go sell the valuables, and then we'll head off and start killing more dragons.
Gotta go dragon slaying, huh?
Yeah. This is the main one that I remember is around. Do you mind looking up that list of dragons again?
Yeah, sure. The last one you beat was the Hibernal, right?
It was one of the two Empress de Leon ones.
Yeah, Hibernal.
Go on, Warnock.
There are 3 in Prees.
There are? That's the third one.
Yep. You killed the level 19 one, though. So it's the Hibernal is the lowest level one. That's like Kaltanzan, and then the Highland Ravager. But the one you're going to probably want to go on next is Vinsummer off the Storm Coast.
What level is the other one over here?
So it's 21 and 23 in the Empress.
Yeah, 21 we can probably do.
Okay, I'll look up that one.
I mean, there are 3 Colosseums now that I look over there, so it could be possible all 3 are over here.
It's found the eastern area in Judicael's Ring. Judicael's Ring, rather. So you gotta complete the War Table scouting operation to restore Judicael's Crossing.
Yep, no,
Which I
done
believe
that.
you've already done.
Yep, no, that's where we are.
Have you done the Breeding Grounds quest yet?
That's not Empress, is it? That's one of the desert places.
It can't be completed if any of the 3 dragons in Empress, if any of the dragons, 3 dragons for it have been killed.
Again, what quest is that?
It's a side quest in Empress.
Well, I'm not seeing it, so I guess we're not doing it. Because I've already killed one of them.
You might have started on accident.
Nope, I'm not even getting any list for Empress.
Oh well, unfortunate. It's nothing major.
Anything good as a reward, or what?
The reward is... Hold on. It's just mostly the experience gained from killing the individual dragons.
Well,
I know her point.
too late now.
Yeah, the one you're going up against has cold resistance, fire vulnerability. So you can bet your butt that this one's an ice dragon.
Go back here. Ha! Miss me.
Miss me, now you got... Ah!
I'm not a scaly, so I do not want to be kissed by the dragon.
No, that's fair, that's fair, that's fair.
Cow? Oh, no, not cowed yet.
So you have
Yep.
two other dragons between the levels of the Hyrule and this guy. You got the guy on the Storm Coast and the one out of the Hissing Wastes.
Right. Maybe you want to move, fellas, instead of just standing there.
Also, you only need to kill 10 High Dragons to get the completion achievement.
How many are there?
There are 11 including the Jaws of Hakon one.
Fair
But
play.
the DLC dragon is like much higher level than everything else. That one's level 25.
Shocker.
Yeah, Jaws of Hakon is kind of bullshit. Well, it looks like Fuzzy will be joining us. He just didn't realize. He forgot we weren't doing D&D today. Dragon, dragon, rock the dragon, Dragon Ball Z. So how compared to the rest of the bosses in this game, how much fun do you think the dragons are as boss fights?
I like fighting the dragons, but that's mostly because they ignore me. And I just get to stand at one of its hind legs dealing damage because they're not very clever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, compare that to some of the other boss fights, which are much more likely to aggro you.
Yeah. I mean the fucking one in the Guardian had me sussed from minute 1. It seemed like. Even
Oh, that was fun.
Even when the others were alive, it's oh, it's called Help. Huh. Wonder how this is gonna go for it.
Yeah, remember, fire hurts cold dragon.
That's for Dorian to worry about.
Yep.
Dorian's the one with the fire
remember
abilities.
My first playthrough on Inquisition was as a Mage Inquisitor, so I had to worry about that a lot more with fighting the dragons. I do like that none of our group really has any interest in playing a vanilla human fighter in these games.
Hmm.
At least in games where you can choose another race.
Yeah.
Like, human fighter is just the most boring choice when you can play literally anything else. And that's true in D&D too.
Bye, buddy.
Anything based off of D&D.
Yeah. 7 out of 10. We're not doing too badly.
Yep.
3 left.
So, maybe hold off on the last Emprise one, and go after one of the other ones first. Oh yeah, you leveled up, huh?
Dragons give a lot of XP.
Well, yeah, they're boss fights.
Yeah. Now we can get some more shards. Oh god, there are 7.
Thankfully, most of them aren't too hard to find. So ones in the corners of the map that are always a pain.
Right, let's collect them before we leave then.
if you got stuck. Oh shit!
Nah.
Boom chicka, boom
We
chicka,
we
boom, boom,
used
boom.
2 potions in that entire fight.
Don't you love it when you download something and it says like, oh, it's going to take X number of hours to download this thing, and then it immediately the download time immediately drops down to like a small fraction of that.
Mm. I mean, the annoying one is when, for no apparent reason, it just fluctuates.
Yeah. It's like 3 hours remaining, 15 minutes remaining, 45 minutes remaining, shit like that.
Well,
That's annoying.
the worst one is where, you know, it gets to the end and then it's like, oh no, you've still got another hour to go. But
Oh yeah, no, that's
the
the
bar
worst.
says
Like,
says we're done. Nope, another hour. Yeah, I don't know why I thought I was going to be able to get up there.
but you don't have access to the jump action.
Jump action is rather broken.
Yep. As it turns out, the main character in Baldur's Gate has mad hops.
Hmm.
Or all the party members have mad hops. Dun 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 dun.
Hi, fellas.
Gotta love killing the Red Templars. Speaking of which, do you actually know of anyone who, you know, actually support the Templars over the mages? Like, as an actual choice, rather than just, like, as a completionist thing?
Yes.
Oh, shit, who?
Friend from work.
But why, though?
I don't know.
Fair.
He explained it, but it was like, okay, I just still think you're wrong.
Like, 99.999% of the time, in a conflict between oppressors and oppressed, the oppressed are going to be the more sympathetic side of that equation. You have to go a really, really, really long way to make the oppressor seem like the sympathetic party in that scenario. And honestly, I don't think it's worth doing most of the time. You cannot fast travel when enemies are nearby.
Oh, luckily I killed all the enemies. That's what the Inquisitor does.
Yep.
Damage.
Just got one more left, huh?
Yeah. It's somewhere along here.
I think it's under that rock thing. That rock formation over that way.
Yeah. I'm just gonna ignore those Templars there. I'm sure they're not doing too much damage. They've lost most of their brethren, so...
Mm-hmm.
were in fact correct.
Nailed it.
Right. I don't remember how many more I need. I think I've done all the shard quests now. Trying to think of where I wouldn't have.
Couldn't tell you.
Huh. Done shards on the plain, shards in the oasis, shards in Emprise, shards in graves, shards in Innerlands. Yeah, I think I've done all of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna go take care of those then.
Yeah, if I can. Not 100% sure if there are enough in the game to open all the doors.
There should be. Last I checked, there were.
I feel like I did a calculation and it came out that I wasn't going to have enough, but maybe I was wrong. Checking all the maps. Lyrium. No, not there. Pressing the wrong fucking buttons. Again. So we're looking for skulls. Skulls would mean we've missed something.
Places do you need to find skulls for?
Well, skulls are the thingamadoos that find the shards.
I know that. I'm asking where do you find where the skulls that you're looking for?
Well, I wasn't looking for skulls in particular. I was just looking to see if there were any. Because if there were any, that means I've missed something.
Yep.
Because they disappear once you've collected the shards associated with them.
Yep.
So the fact that there were no skulls means I should, have all the shards
You should have
available.
all of them.
I should at the very least have all the shards available. Again, whether that means I've got enough shards to open all the doors, I can't remember.
Well, let's do some math. Actually, I'll just look up the quest.
Yeah.
Well, it's just shard collection, right? What's
Yeah.
the name? What's the actual name on it?
I mean, that's the thing. There's sort of multiple names for these quests in the Forbidden Oasis.
Well, no. What's the name of the shard collection quest?
I mean, it's just shards in insert area here.
Okay. So let's look at Forbidden Oasis and. Shard collector.
Might not have been the best idea. Nope.
So you must collect a grand total of 114 shards.
I don't remember how many I've collected. I did most of it in a days.
There are a total of 8 shard collections available to be completed.
Right.
So just look at your shard collection quests.
Well, it says I've collected all of them. So,
Should be fine then.
presuming that I've got enough.
Yeah,
So
but it's
there's...
a BioWare game. You can never trust those things.
Hey, Fuzzy.
Hey, Fuzzy. Yeah.
I'm sorry I'm late. I swear to God, I thought today was a D&D day.
It
So I,
usually
like,
is.
slept in.
It's not.
So there's 3 specific parts to the temple quests. There's, I believe, fire, there's cold, and spirits.
Well, let's see.
Yeah, you're doing the fire captured right now.
Yep. Nope, we had enough.
One door left in the main hall.
Is there? Wait, who the fuck died?
That'd be Bull and Varric.
Why did they die?
I assume they took too much damage. Remember,
Damage
no,
from-
Bull's a Reaver.
Damage from what, though? These are weaklings. Did they just get set on fire?
Presumably.
I mean, it is a fire temple.
That was a lot of gold. You were getting a shit ton.
Yeah,
This
no.
would have been very beneficial to your golden nug collection.
But we already bought the golden nug. We don't need to collect for it.
I know. I'm just saying this would have been very funny. Ooh, oh, fun stuff. Superb belt of fire resistance. That's good.
And some more. If any of those remaining dragons are fire dragons, then, you know, got a
Let
leg
me
up there.
look, actually. Okay, so I'm pretty sure the Sandy Howler, the one in the hissing waste, is a fire dragon.
Cool.
Yep. Fire resistance and cold vulnerability. So that should be helpful to have on hand.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily for you, then, for your companions. You're getting a lot of gold out of this.
Yeah. I had a lot of gold to begin with as well. Like 30k.
Well, you're going to be up another few thousand at the very least. You're going to end this game rich. Rich, I say.
What am I on? 31,000. Best
Already
part
over
of 32.
1,000. Yep. Already over 30,000. Already another 1,000 plus from just this one part of the temple.
Well, I've done all the rest of the temple, so...
Oh, you've done the rest? You've done the spirit and cold ones?
Yep.
Okay, then you have just the last chamber then.
Which I assume is the one up front.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck.
Alright, demon. Fun times. You've been thunderstruck. Holy shit.
This isn't a very, like, high-level quest.
No, it's not. They're level 19. That's insane. The amount that only 4 levels makes. The amount of difference.
Yeah.
Better than you'd expect. Bloody demon.
Forget how low the power scaling is on this game.
Don't tell Toriyama.
Toriyama wouldn't know good power scaling if it hit him in the face. I'm sorry, that's
Weird.
mean.
Well, it's not inaccurate. It's one of those he's right, but he shouldn't say it situations.
I mean, I would have said it in a far cruder way, but yeah.
Would you like to share with the class?
Toriyama wouldn't know good power scaling if it blew a load all over his face.
Yeah. Well, that's certainly one way to put it.
I have a lot of questions about the logistics of that.
Right.
But
Fair enough.
As we know, I do tend to have questions about the logistics of things. It's kind of my whole thing.
Oh, that's right. Still haven't done the main Emerald Graves quest. Well,
Emerald Graves is fun. We're basically just dicking around with side quests right now.
the story isn't that interesting.
No, that's fair.
Oh, it's not in here, is it? It's in the other cave.
I think the story is dumb but fun, personally. And it does have some good moments here and there.
It does.
Like,
But I'm gonna be honest.
I hesitate to write off any given BioWare game, especially the Mass Effect and Dragon Age ones.
Y'all just roboted to hell and back for
Fuzzy,
me.
you're roboting hard.
Not for me.
Ah, fuck.
Oh, hey, a mosaic piece.
Am I coming through to you guys?
Yes.
Hello?
Hello? Can anybody hear me? Me. I don't know where I'm going. Ing.
Hello?
I'll just let them sort out their technical difficulties. Ah, okay. It's up here.
This is a thing. It seems we've lost Jack and almost lost me. Are you still there, Mill?
Yep.
Did Jack also robot for you?
No, actually.
Huh.
Paul, stop dying to such shitty things.
Look. Okay. How do we feel about Bull? Like, on a
There
more
we go.
objective level.
Okay, I missed like the past few minutes of this.
Oh, well, we haven't been talking. I have a question to pose for y'all.
Okay.
Iron Bull.
Yes.
He's, like, very charming.
Yep.
But in hindsight, he's probably done at least a few war crimes.
True. Don't forget all those war crimes. It really depends.
Yeah, so I'm very curious. How do we feel about that?
I'm gonna be honest. There are not that many, not that many characters in Dragon Age who haven't done one war crime or another.
Yeah.
Or
that is
facilitated
the
one.
thing. That is the
Bit
thing.
worrying.
Isn't it?
It's a bit worrying, don't you think?
It is.
Yeah, just like... It's one of those things where... It's the Steven Universe problem all over again. It's like... When you want to make a character sympathetic... There is a scale. And like...
I mean, the question is, how and where do you draw the line? Like, because that varies from person to person.
I would also argue, in Bull's case at the very least, there's an element of he was sort of brought. He was brought up in essentially a cult.
He does get bonus points for the whole cult thing, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I think in general, there's going to be a lot of differing standards from person to person. For example, yeah, go ahead.
I think that's part of what makes debates like this so interesting. Like, no two people are going to have the exact same definition of what makes of what is forgivable or unforgivable as an action that a person can take.
I believe this is yours.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, in addition to that, like, I do like to think that there are some pretty, like, hard to avoid standards.
Oh yeah.
For
no, they're definitely.
example, I'm pretty sure, like, this may be a controversial opinion sadly, given the popularity of something like Steven Universe, but I'm pretty sure genocide is where I draw the line.
Genocide is a pretty hard line to draw, but there's also a
Yeah.
couple others.
And I'm pretty sure, like, that's one of the lines that Steven Universe crossed, and that's why I still maintain, even if it had been given time, like an entire season, where it only got a few episodes for a series finale, I still think it would have been pretty hard to stomach.
Most of them are unarmed. Some don't even have.
Oh, that's a fair opinion.
Like, there's some things you kind of just, like, just doesn't work.
Mm.
And I feel like that is a source code issue, in the sense that it's possible to make it work, but to make it work, it does require you to rework the series from, like, the ground level.
More fellow countrymen.
There was unfortunately a lot of stuff they didn't get the opportunity to, do and fix because of executive meddling, all that shit.
No, of course, and I'm always sympathetic about that. It's just that even outside of the executive meddling, there were probably some core story issues that they just didn't have a good way of resolving.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not uncommon for writers to somehow write themselves into a corner.
I doubt they care, so long as they acquire it first.
I mean, somehow Palpatine returned.
Let's not get into that. We've talked about it a lot already.
Have we talked about it that much? I don't feel like we have.
A friend of mine once told me about the Emerald Knight.
It has been talked about a lot already.
Yes, not necessarily by us, but certainly it's not an unknown topic of conversation on the wider interwebs.
It's correct. Like, honestly, I'm just kind of tired of talking about the sequel trilogy. My bottom line is that it would have been so much better if, they'd planned the trilogy out from the start, from beginning to end, rather than just,
if they'd had
doing a
consistent
patchwork
fucking
approach.
directors, that would have helped. Instead of going, alright, we're gonna have this director for this movie, this director for the next movie, and then this director doing this one.
Like, that wouldn't have been a problem if everyone was on the same page for what the story was going to be across the trilogy. But the trilogy is a mess because you have one movie that just sets up the new status quo and doesn't do much else, another movie that immediately deconstructs and tears apart that status quo even more so than the previous movie, and a third one that is half dedicated to retconning the previous one, and the other half is dedicated to, like, neutrally focused bullshit. It's just like an absolute mess.
It's funny because it's not like they didn't know how to plan out a long, intricate series of movies.
No, they don't. No, they don't not know how. Or rather, they do know how.
Yeah, because, like, that's kind of the whole thing of the MCU. And that was already established. Like, the MCU had already been a proof of concept by that point. Which is why it's even more surprising that they just, like, messed it up so badly.
It's just baffling. I'd honestly be impressed if I wasn't so depressed by the whole thing. Kind of a total debacle, you know?
That said, I will admit, I have never felt that strongly about Star Wars.
Neither have I.
It's probably because my first experience with Star Wars was, in fact, the prequels. And I have to say, George, say what you will about George Lucas, but he was correct about some things.
Oh, yeah, no.
One of the things he was correct about was Jar Jar Binks is definitely, like, popular with the kids. I say that as one of said kids at the time.
Yeah, it's kind of wild to me because, like, a lot of younger folks really did enjoy. A lot of the kid crowd did enjoy Jar Jar. It's just like, as everyone grew older, they got more and more frustrated with him.
I mean,
and of course, the older.
The issue
is
that, you know, the existing Star Wars audience, you know, the ones that had watched and been enthralled by the original trilogy, were not kids, and therefore hated Jar Jar. And they were the loud
Definitely
ones.
One of the problems. I feel really bad for.
That man did have his entire life and career ruined.
Yeah.
By that film series.
I mean, hey, I didn't, like... I remember actually, or the bit of, what was it, Phantom Menace that I enjoyed was Liam Neeson, so...
Yeah, no, like, that's I think the saddest part of the prequel trilogy is that it had an absolute banger of a cast.
And a lot of it was just straight up squandered, unfortunately.
Oh, Samuel L. and your desire for a purple lightsaber.
Can you blame him?
No. It's still funny.
If Samuel L. Jackson comes up to you and says, I will be a Jedi in your movie, but I demand a purple lightsaber.
You give him a purple lightsaber.
You give him the goddamn purple lightsaber.
You give him a pimp saber. It's what he basically went for. That's right. Purple is a really good color for a lightsaber. Because it looks bitchin'.
Just wish Mace Windu had been given more to do.
I mean...
The funny thing is, if you watch, like, you know, any of the animated stuff, a lot of the more minor Jedi get a lot more to do.
Though the animated stuff, due to its nature as, like, more kid-friendly, does run into a bit of an awkward problem of, like, there's a lot of really yikes stuff in the extended universe that they just gloss over, which I just find very funny.
I think it's more of an issue in Rebels than it is in Clone Wars, because Clone Wars got a lot more mature as it went on.
No, I mean like, by that I mean, are y'all aware of what of the late and great Kiadi Mundi, Mr.
Yes.
Conehead himself?
Yes. What about him?
Canonically, he had like 19 wives because his
Oh,
species
yeah.
had an extremely low ratio of males to females, and as a result, literally the Jedi Council made an exception on the whole marriage and reproduction thing because because he had to like repopulate his species.
It was a whole obligation thing, which is
Yeah,
very
that's
Jedi-like, I guess.
That's something you won't see in any of the animated material.
Oh, of course not. Of course not.
Yeah, but yeah, Kiadi Mundi's massive harem aside, I just like feel that it would have been so funny if there had been an alternate universe style thing where like Anakin was late to the
Fuzzy?
Jedi Council ganging up on Sidious,
Fuck!
and Mace Windu just murked him. Because, like, Sidious was losing by that point.
I also didn't have any problem with Yoda bouncing around.
Which, you know, is
I found it enjoyable.
Goddamn, was I gone and came back?
No?
Hello?
Hello? Jesus Christ. This isn't even me.
Hello?
Hi.
Is Discord just like, did someone blow up
Discord hates me today. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
I mean,
No,
hey.
it's me too. I'm also having Discord issues.
I mean,
Okay,
I can.
Discord's just being a bitch.
I can hear both of y'all fine. You might not be able to hear me, to be fair, but still.
I mean, my thing has disconnected on both of my computers at this point. It just straight up won't connect on my main computer. I have to use my laptop right now. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah,
speaking of Star Wars, like, I saw a post recently that, like, suggested, like, the whole Padme-Anakin romance would make a lot more sense. It'd be a lot more complex and intriguing and offer a lot more agency to Padme if Padme was, like, a decade or two older. We'll run into other issues, mind you, but
yeah,
it would have definitely made for a more complex thing.
I was gonna say, if she'd been, there was already like a very worrying undertone of grooming.
Well, the way to solve that would be just to not have them meet before he's an adult.
Still, it runs into some pretty, like, the Padme-Anakin romance is already kind of squicky. Like, in
it's
hindsight.
squicky in all sorts of ways. It's super squicky. Also, George Lucas is not the best at writing romance. Like, part of the reason that it worked so well in the original trilogy...
George Lucas is not the best at writing.
I was gonna say, you could have ended that sentence a word early.
Yes. Okay, that's fair. Part of the reason the original trilogy worked so well overall was because he had other creatives working alongside him and, you know, counterbalancing his worst impulses. Hell, the film editor is the reason that A New Hope turned out as well as it did.
If I recall correctly, in the original trilogy, a lot of it was his the influence of his wife at the time.
Yeah, she edited A New Hope. She's the editor for that one. So, yeah, we have her to thanks for A New Hope turning out as well as it did. The original Star Wars. And on top of that, we also have the director and writers involved in Empire, making it turn out as well as it did. Because George Lucas did not direct Empire. It was directed by Irvin Kershner and written by Lawrence Kasdan. Lucas only came up with the story and helped produce it.
Yeah, let's not forget some of Lucas's great contributions to the Star Wars canon. For example, the existence of Minch Yoda.
Yeah.
Minch Yoda?
Are you guys aware of that?
What's that?
So Yoda's first name is Minch.
Ah. Alright.
According
Just
to
like
George
Palpatine's
Lucas.
first name is Sheev.
Yeah, but somehow Minch is worse.
I don't know. Sheev is also pretty fucking dumb sounding.
It's like, so Sheev sounds like it's a real name that someone in a sci-fi world would have. Minch, though, just doesn't, is like, what is that even supposed to be or mean?
Yes.
So, like, George Lucas was definitely, he had good ideas, but he was definitely a guy who needed the...
Reining in, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so George Lucas was only the primary screenwriter and director for New Hope out of the original trilogy. Empire was directed by Kershner and written by Brackett and Kasdan, with only the story by
and let's be real. A New Hope is the simplest story of the three.
Oh yeah, no, it's a very straightforward story.
I mean, it's basically the hero's journey, isn't it?
Close to it, yes. Return of the Jedi was directed by
It's
Richard
like
Marquand and
almost textbook
by
hero's
Kasdan
journey,
and Lucas.
in fact.
God damn it! Can you hear me?
Yes.
Nope. You cannot.
I mean, I can. I've got stream proof of it, but you obviously can't hear me. Can you still hear me, Fuzzy? Gonna guess not.
These are our men.
Yeah, we know. You said that when we first came in. The corpses didn't change while we were in there. At least I hope they didn't. Be quite bad if they did.
Hello?
Hi.
Okay, I think I'm gonna have to bounce today. Discord just does not want me here. It's literally crashing every, like, minute.
If that's what you choose, I'm not gonna stop you.
I mean, like, I can stay, but it's just like, I don't know what the issue is, because, like, is Jack here?
No, Jack's been facing similar issues.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know, like, I don't have a problem with staying, but I don't think Discord wants me here. I'll try and, like, power through it, but I just, like, I'm not...
Okay, that should work now. Fucking hell. I hate my computers.
No, it's not your computer's jack. It's Discord because I'm facing the exact same problems.
Okay.
I'm
Fuck
literally
Discord.
disconnecting. Yeah, I'm literally disconnecting every minute.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, it's not great. Like, seriously, did someone just, like, take a
Did
baseball
someone
bat?
spill soda or something into the Discord servers?
I was going with something far more malicious, but thank you for reminding me of Hanlon's razor.
Yes. Honestly, I always assume incompetence primarily just because it's funnier that way. Yeah, whatchamacallit. Oh yeah, I found this neat little tidbit that I was going to share before I was so rudely interrupted by Discord being a dick. All 3 films of the original trilogy of Star Wars are now in the Library of Congress. Preserved as, you know, they were preserved in the National Film Registry. Which is basically the Library of Congress thing that makes sure that historically important films are preserved.
Now, the real question is, will they include Borat?
I'm looking that up right now. Or rather looking up,
It would be interesting
No,
to
it's not in
know what is in the in that list thus far, anyway.
Oh, so the National Film Registry is separate from the Library of Congress, but the Library of Congress can select things to be put in the National Film Registry, or nominate them. Okay,
Don't mind me just murdering an innocent bear.
RIP. Yeah,
Is
National
the
Film
bear
Registry
really
includes such
innocent, though?
films as 2001: A Space Odyssey, 12 Angry Men, American Graffiti, Bambi, Ben-Hur. Oh, that's a yikes. Birth of a Nation, Jesus.
It's yikes, but at the same time, does it surprise you in any way at all?
I mean,
No, it does
I
not.
guess it's
I can see
historically
why they would preserve
significant.
it.
Yeah, I guess it's
significant, and
yeah.
there were a lot. Unfortunately, there were a lot of pioneering film techniques in that one. Yeah. There's a lot. There's like hundreds of films in the National Film Registry. Yeah. They generally mostly it's older films, just because influentiality and all that.
And let's be real, because those are the films that were contemporary when the people in charge were young.
Grand total of 850 total films as of 2022. And the most recent film is from 2011. Oldest film is from 1891.
Guess that probably would be historically significant, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Also, you paused long enough that I got worried you'd crashed again.
No,
Yeah,
that's fair.
that's going to be a consistent theme today, I think.
So the newest film in the archive is it's called Pariah. I haven't heard of that one. Interesting.
So,
Okay.
I have a question for y'all.
Uh-huh.
Did you watch National Treasure as a child?
Yes.
Of course.
It was a very important part of my childhood.
It was such a good movie.
I need to rewatch it at some point.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a good movie. It was a fun movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could call it a good movie by many modern metrics, but like, it was a very important part of
I
my
enjoyed
childhood.
it. I thought it was fun. That's good enough for me.
I'll be
It is a pretty good standard to uphold, yes.
Inquisitor. The free men have
Also,
been-
you'll never guess
Perhaps with the free men.
which
Inquisitor, you have encountered
oh boy.
killed a dozen-
I'm surprised they only have Fellowship of the Ring in the film registry, not the other two Lord of the Rings movies.
Inquisitor, have you reconsidered-
Oh, but Fellowship was only added in 2021. That might be why.
All my information, help us. And
Okay.
Most recent
I
movies.
I confused the game because I did the things for the quest early.
I love it when that happens. It's so funny.
So it didn't really know what to do, so it kept repeating dialogue, but I'm fairly sure I just completed the quest.
Nice.
Oh no. Is that gonna be a problem?
No, it's fine.
Oh, hey, Who Framed Roger Rabbit's in the archive? That's nice.
Is that the one Bob Hoskins is in?
Yes.
You know what's funny? I watched the other one as a child, I think.
There's another one?
No, like, I believe there was a clone that came out in a similar time period attempting to capitalize on the success of Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, of course. That always happens.
And that's the one I watched first.
That is so funny. It's like watching that one knockoff of E.T. before watching actual E.T.
There's a knockoff E.T.?
There's a knockoff
Yeah, I don't
everything.
remember what it's called.
There's a knockoff everything. It just depends whether it's like whether it's the porn knockoff or not.
It wasn't a poor knockoff. It was just a shitty knockoff.
I'm sure there's also a porn knockoff.
Oh,
There's many.
absolutely. Rule 34. Rule 34.
Truly one of the quintessential constants of our time.
Mhm.
I don't remember the name of the knockoff off the top of my head. Unsurprisingly, Raiders of the Lost Ark is also in the archive. As is Terminator.
I kind of
And The
want to
Breakfast
watch
Club.
the new Indiana Jones.
I might watch it at some point if it's on streaming, but
If
I don't know.
nothing, if
King of the
nothing
Crystal
else,
Skull was a letdown.
if nothing else from the trailer I watched, they seemed willing to take shots at the British Museum.
That's
fair.
always nice.
There are worse targets to take.
I mean, did you see what I posted in the history chat?
I think so.
Let's look around.
That's
Yes. The British Museum has a very, very notable reputation for stealing shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's completely accurate,
Yep.
which is the important bit.
Uh-huh.
more light. How cheery.
From the look of their clothes, I'd say these men were looters.
Oh, right, this is the creepy place.
Ends well here.
Do 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 do.
Might be something here. Better take a closer look. That sounded bad.
I mean, based on that first letter that I found, I'm fairly sure, like, some fucking little heiress girl summoned a demon or whatever.
Yes, how all these things start.
Ooh, enemy.
This place is creepy.
They do
Oh my
tend to do
God.
that, don't they?
Mhm. Oh my God, Shrek's in the National Film Registry. It's amazing.
It's hardly surprising. It's not like it hasn't earned it.
Oh, it has. I just think Shrek 2 is the better movie, by far.
Well, I think that there seems to be a pattern of them like putting the first movies in.
Not always. The Dark Knight's in the registry, but Batman Begins is not.
I feel like that says more about Batman Begins than it does about policy.
That's fair. Also, The Dark Knight is widely
Liam
regarded as one
Neeson-
of the
Liam
best
Neeson's
superhero
got-
movies.
Liam Neeson got like a real mixed bag of a career, huh?
Oh, absolutely. A lot of actors do. You don't find that many actors who have just, like, only hits to their name. Unless they're just starting out, and they have a good start.
Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy is fucking fantastic.
I'm willing to bet I could find a movie that Cillian Murphy's been in that wasn't great.
I'm sure you could, but like, he definitely is one of the more. He definitely has a much better track record than average.
Yes. Oh, I didn't know that Liam Neeson played a Knight of the Round Table.
In which King Arthur?
Excalibur, the 1981 movie.
That would be why then.
He played Gawain. Who was one of the more famous knights, but not the most famous.
I mean, I remember a King Arthur movie that I watched when I was younger that was more accurate to the sort of like Anglo-Saxon era that King Arthur was likely to have lived in.
Yeah.
Oh no.
What was it called?
I don't remember, but I believe it was 2004. It may have just been like King Arthur.
What fine reading material.
There were a lot of King Arthur movies that were just named King Arthur, yes.
Yeah. I think it was like 2004 or something like that. Definitely early
No,
2000s.
I remember there being one like that that came out back then. List of works based on Arthurian legends. There we go. Theatrical films.
Now, here's the real question.
Yeah, King Arthur is literally the name, and it's 2004. Starring Clive Owen, Keira Knightley, Stellan Skarsgård, Stephen Delane, Ray Winstone, Hugh Dancy, Til Schweiger, and Mads Mikkelsen.
Mads Mikkelsen? Wow, okay,
Yep.
I remembered the others. I didn't remember him.
He played Tristan.
Wait, what year was this?
2004.
2004.
Oh, 2004. Okay, I thought you were talking about the 1981 one.
No.
No. 1981 is way old for him. Yeah, so...
I was gonna
Oh,
say, was Keira Knightley alive in 1981? She's on the younger side, isn't she?
She was, like, born in the mid-80s, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so she might not have been alive in...
She was born in
1980.
85.
Yeah, so yeah, I was gonna say, like, how was Keira Knightley in the 1981 King Arthur?
No, she played Guinevere in the 2004 one.
If I remember correctly, they all died in the 2004 one.
I don't know.
I mean, that would be accurate to the myth.
I mean, yeah, they're not all still alive, but
The 2004 one ends with Merlin presiding over Guinevere and Arthur's wedding, I believe.
really? Oh. Like I said, I could have
Yeah.
sworn they all died.
Lancelot and Tristan die. I think the rest of the knights die as well, but...
Because I feel like I recall them fighting on a frozen lake that began cracking.
Yep.
I'm gonna be real with y'all. My only experience with live action Arthur adaptation is BBC's Merlin.
BBC's Merlin is a good one, to be fair.
It's also hilarious at how, like, queer-coded it is.
There's just so much, like, to talk about with BBC's Merlin.
Oh, BBC's Merlin had some... I'm mixing things up. BBC's Merlin had some really good stuff early on, but I kind of fell off on that one.
Yeah, no, it got real bad. It, like, literally had it... So it developed such a good organic chemistry between the cast in the first seasons that later they had to manufacture, like, conflict.
Yeah. When I hear Merlin, I think of the 1998 miniseries with Sam Neill. Oh shit, Helena Bonham Carter was in that one too. And Martin Short. Huh. Wild.
Quite.
I do find it funny how much or how little of the Arthurian lore carries over into individual adaptations. Because some of them are, like, very close to the myth, and some are very, very much not close to the myth.
I mean, it makes sense, right? Like, it's not like there is one single Arthurian canon.
Yeah, Arthurian canon is a fun one.
Speaking of Arthurian canons, feel about Guinevere in the modern era?
Guinevere's interesting, because there's been no real consistency in the portrayals with her that I've seen.
Like, sadly, I think the only consistent plotline about Guinevere is that she was banging Lancelot.
Not even then. Like, sometimes it doesn't... That doesn't happen. Like, hell, in Merlin, it doesn't happen. In the show you were just talking about.
But like, yeah, but Merlin isn't exactly like... I'm talking about the old stuff.
Oh yeah, no, the old stuff, yeah.
Just like, myth has a lot of inconsistency in general. But
Yeah.
Arthurian myth in
the
particular...
thing is, Lancelot was a much later addition to the Arthurian canon than a lot of other stuff. Because Lancelot was not a part of the original Arthurian legend. He, if I recall correctly, he was added either after Le Morte d'Arthur or somewhere in that time period, which was well after the establishment of earlier Arthurian canon.
To be fair, Le Morte d'Arthur is kind of the codifier for a lot of Arthurian tropes,
It is
isn't
a
it?
codifier, yes, which is... Because I'm trying to look right now. It's hard to find it real quickly because there's so much fucking text to go through. So romance traditions. Oh, Le Morte d'Arthur was Thomas Mallory's retelling, and that came in the 15th century, when most Arthurian legends were like codified in the 1130s.
Yeah, I thought that was what we were talking about, how Mallory sort of codified the entire thing.
He did. Yeah, Lancelot wasn't added until like about a century after the initial codification in the 1130s with Historia Regum Britanniae.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Merlin in general also a much older character?
Don't know about that. Let me look.
Well, Merlin at his core came from Mirrodin Wilt, which...
Yes. The familiar depiction of him was introduced in the 12th century by Geoffrey of Monmouth. Or Monmouth, or however you pronounced it.
I believe it's Monmouth, yes. Why is this becoming an Arthurian Legends history podcast?
Yeah.
But Merlin
not?
is indeed partially based off of a historical figure named Merlin Wilt, who was born in the mid-500s.
Well, a dubiously historical figure.
Dubiously historical, yes. And the other influential figure was Ambrosius Aurelianus, who was a war leader of the Romano-British in the 5th century. So yeah. Very interesting, though. What's interesting to me is, like, some characters have very different roles depending on the telling. Like, Morgan Le Fay, for instance, is, like, very different in a lot of different versions. Sometimes she's, like, an outright heroic character, sometimes she's a straight-up villain. And she's been everything in between. Depending on the telling, which is very fascinating to me.
I believe we put the worst of it to rest.
Perhaps now this place will be as quiet as it seemed.
Also, a lot of more recent things have Morgan as the mother of Mordred when, initially I'm pretty sure it was Morgause that was Mordred's mother. At least in the earlier tellings.
And again, the fact that there's two characters with such similar names is way more confusing than it has any right to be.
Oh, of course. Oh my god, they even so. Oh my god. So the Wikipedia page for Morgan Le Fay in modern culture has a straight up column dedicated to whether or not the individual portrayals of her are good or evil or other. That is so funny to me.
I mean, it makes sense.
It does make sense. Like, a character that has this much variety in their depictions is just so crazy.
I mean, to a certain extent, you gotta remember. I mean, when were these, depictions? I assume written rather than spoken, but when were these depictions made?
All over the place. Like, this is specifically in terms of modern stuff, so late 19th century to the present day.
Can you find the first depiction of what was it, Morgan Le Fay as a villain?
Period, or in modern stuff?
Period.
Ooh, that'll be tough. Okay, let's see.
I mean, don't worry if you can't. This is just me being curious.
Need something?
I killed the wyvern up in the cave. But
That I do. I hope you can.
Thank you.
So, in the earliest versions, Morgan's chief role was that of a great healer, but she was associated with a lot of fairy mistresses and maiden temptress characters.
Yeah, especially because, like, it's pretty consistent that she was there during, like, Arthur's death, but, like, not necessarily in an adversarial fashion.
Yeah. Okay, so early 13th century prose romances of the Vulgate cycle are the earliest ones that portray Morgan as more erratic, chaotic, and unpredictable, eventually becoming more opposed to Arthur and his court. So initial portrayals like Joffrey and such were much less villainously inclined.
Now, I don't know about you, but 13th century, women weren't treated particularly well back then, were they?
Yeah, I knew that's where you were going, and I was, like, waiting for it. Yeah, that's kind of the thing, isn't it? Is, like, there came a point where
Powerful woman equals bad is a big thing in a lot of that time period.
Well, even beyond that, the role of, like, women who are versed in medicine went from local healer to witch to be burned at stake.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, again, a big part of that issue.
Yeah. Funny enough, most witches, alleged witches, were not killed by burning at the stake. They were more often hanged or drowned. It's very fascinating though to look up like old mythologies and lore, and where they came from.
Hey, I studied history for a reason.
Yeah. No, it's interesting stuff.
Absolutely fascinating. Also, yes, I'm desecrating quite a few graves.
It's fine. I'm sure they won't mind. They definitely haven't been getting up and attacking you every time you do it. No siree.
Speaking of history, I still find
I do
wild
find it
that one of the
fascinating,
less talked about parts of history is how there was like a grave robbing
just like
epidemic
the transformation of
in like the late 18
stories and
like in the
myths
late
over time
1800s,
and
early
recount
1900s.
things, especially like oral histories and such.
Oh boy.
Because that's how they tend to get stories.
Right?
Just like the facts.
That's just one of
the
those
matter
things
is
that just is like, right, that did happen, huh?
Oh, Fuzzy, you're not coming through well. Ah, shit. Can you hear me, Mil?
I can hear you, yes, but I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Hey, Fuzzy, welcome back.
Yeah, you and
Fuzzy?
the two of you were talking at the same time, which was very amusing.
Yeah, I can't hear Fuzzy.
Can you still hear me?
You are roboting, but I hear you.
I'm hearing you fine, so it must be the American server, like America the continent.
I want to reach through the screen and strangle Discord right now. Yeah, so that's not earning me many points with them, but whatever. I don't give a fuck.
Gotta love when some saliva accidentally goes down the breathing hole. Now, I was promised an arcane horror in here.
Oh god, am I back?
Yes.
You are so back.
Oh god,
Back like Backstreet.
One of
Guess
these
who's back?
days,
Backstreet's back.
Discord will work.
One of these days.
I don't know if
but it's not this day.
I don't know if I'll live to see it, but I'm sure it'll happen eventually.
Eventually. I do find it funny that they do that whole French accent thing in SpongeBob. Where they're doing like a time thing.
Oh, is that why?
I need to step out for a moment. I will be right back.
Anyway, do you remember what you were saying, Fuzzy, before,
Yes,
died on
before
you?
I died. I find it wild that there was just a grave robbing epidemic.
Yeah.
Like, in the, late 1800s, early 1900s. I just, like... I have to imagine that, people were just, like, wild and back then.
I mean, there's, always going to be some people who are skeptical about religion and care more about their own gain than, the afterlife and what the people there might do to you.
It's not even like a matter of religion in many ways. Like, to me, it's more like, I have to imagine that's one of those crimes that was like sort of a revolutionary discovery. You know what I'm saying? Like the idea that, oh, that is a thing you can do, huh?
Indeed, there are things you can do.
Like the idea that you can just like sell corpses for money had to have been somewhat revolutionary, at least.
Might be fucked up, though.
Oh, very much so, but like, doesn't change the fact that it was definitely like not something a lot of people probably expected was a viable career path.
Viable for some people.
Well, that's just the way of things, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Ah, yes, the way of things.
I doubt they left all their stuff here out of charity.
The classic book.
Oh yeah, while we're talking about history, I still really want to make sure that my bone to pick with undead murder farce is known.
Oh, what's the historical bone to pick?
Their depiction of Jack the Ripper was so, like, inaccurate.
Oh, and this thing. Yeah.
I mean, they depicted him as a human man when clearly Jack the Ripper was an ape.
Waking up.
From some,
I remember you post. I remember seeing you post about this. Yes.
To give context, in my first year of my undergraduate degree, I did a group project that involved me. Well, I had to pick a particular topic, and I picked Jack the Ripper because it was interesting, and it was led by my favorite lecturer at the time.
This place is bigger than you'd think. No way through this.
And
Go on.
in the topic groups, we got split into smaller groups, and my group got picked to do the police response to Jack the Ripper. And
It's strange that I can understand that.
when I was checking over what I'd written for my bit of it, I happened to find in one of the books I had a letter that some woman had written to
I've
the police.
seen this letter.
Yes, I posted that letter in the seasonal chat because I find it so funny, and I am going to read it verbatim because I can.
No, I think I've seen that letter before even you'd posted it.
It's very possible you've seen it when I've posted it before, because it's not the first time.
No, I saw it like years ago on a website like that I used to frequent.
Ah, yes, good old web sites.
But yes, the letter read, "No one seems to think of the possibility of the slayer of the 6 women at Whitechapel being other than a man, but it may be in fact woman, or neither one nor the other. It may be a large animal of the ape species belonging to some wild beast show. The animal would be swift, cunning, noiseless, and strong, standing over its work until a footstep was heard, and then vaulting over fence or wall, disappearing in a moment, hiding its weapon perhaps high up in a tree or other safe place, and returning home to shut itself up in its cage. There are, I have heard, a number of wild animals kept in a house in the heart of London, I think in Whitechapel, being allowed an extraordinary amount of liberty. She sounds like she's complaining to the council.
I think that's exactly what she thought she was doing.
It sounds like she was just more complaining that she'd seen some animals out and about in London.
That's too funny.
But yeah, I saw that and just absolutely, like, started laughing and immediately rewrote my passage to include that.
As you should.
Because we had a little box at our, because we basically had to create what was it, a poster and a like a book. So my bit was for the book, but when we were presenting it, we had like a box basically saying, "Oh, do you think, based on what we've written, do you think the police could have done more to catch Jack the Ripper?" With and you would put a piece of paper in saying yes and no, and maybe give some reasons why you thought that. I managed to get a mate of mine to put a piece of paper in that said, of course they couldn't, because Jack the Ripper was obviously an ape and they weren't thinking that way. Or something like that.
How'd the professors react to all this?
I got a good grade on it, if I recall correctly, so, fairly well.
That's fun.
I mean, as I said, the lecturer in charge of that particular group was my favorite, in part because he did like the bullshit like that.
It's nice when you get a professor like that, isn't it?
Like, I can't remember exactly what I wrote, but I'm fairly sure I, in an essay for him, I took a shot at France, and he wrote an approving comment beside it.
That's the British for you. Never gonna pass an opportunity to make fun of the French.
That's still just one of the funniest things to me for some reason.
But yeah, he was also the lecturer who every module he ran, there would be basically there was always two forms of assessment for our modules, and for his, one of the forms of assessment was always a trio of quizzes that basically everyone just basically worked together to do the answers, to provide the answers. At one point, I'm fairly sure, like, somebody went to him to, say, "Is it okay that we're doing this?" And he was like, "Sure, why not?" We theorized he didn't want to mark more than one piece of work a term.
Can't blame him.
No, I really liked him. He was very good. And did some of my favorite modules, so. Because I'm fairly sure he was like a war historian as well.
Oh, that's fun.
For some reason, that just makes me think of like imagine that as a specific subclass of wizard in D&D. Just for some reason, the term war historian just like hits different.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Where could this key lead?
Speaking of war historians, which few wars do you think are the most researched?
World War II.
It's got to be the more recent ones, right?
Which 5? So outside of World War II, I know that World War II is number 1.
And probably World War One is number 2.
Yes and no.
That would be funny, but I don't think so.
So this is where the key leads.
Really?
I don't
I
know.
wasn't
Yeah,
making
I
that as a joke. I just thought that would make sense. That
I honestly
the
think
two
like
world wars would
Vietnam
be
is
the top
probably
two
more
research.
researched than World War One.
What now?
The war in Vietnam.
Right. Those are like pretty heavily researched, but I thought they were more of a localized thing to the US.
Okay,
I mean,
are we like, because obviously the Vietnam War was also like a big part of the Cold War. So
yes, that's the thing.
Yeah,
No,
if
we're
you
not
count
counting the
Cold
Cold War
that
as a war
thing
because
is-
it wasn't actually like a violent conflict in and of itself, and had actual violent conflicts during its course. Yeah, I would say World War One is probably up there, just not as high up as World War Two or Vietnam. And we have to remember also that there are a lot of historical wars throughout the world that are probably pretty heavily researched within their given cultures.
I mean, yeah. I mean, are we, when we're talking about this, are we like sticking to like modern wars, or?
We could stick to modern wars when we're talking about this. Because, yeah, there are a lot of modern wars that would merit it. Like, where do you want to define modern war as starting and ending? Like, what time period?
Probably 1600s-ish.
Oh, okay. So then, the American Revolution and the French Revolution are probably very thoroughly discussed, as is the Napoleonic Wars. It's not even getting into all the struggles in China and Japan and India that went on during that time period. As well as, you know, all the wars in the Islamic world as well. Though most of those would probably be, most of those aren't as extensive as the wars in, like, other parts of, Asia and Africa. Trying to think of a war that took place in Africa, actually, during that time period. Because that was mostly just colonial conquest. Or imperialist conquest, if you want to be finicky.
Which was perpetrated by a country that shall not be named and was entirely blameless in the whole thing, right? Right? No. Yeah, I know.
No.
I know. We sucked. Very badly.
I mean,
so did other people. I'd just like to get
the
that
British
out there.
weren't even the worst in Africa. That was the Belgians.
Yeah, the Belgians really fucking, like... The Belgians were really bad.
Yeah, no, the shit in the Congo is awful. Just like, holy shit.
Though, and perhaps I shouldn't laugh at this, the political goings-on in the Congo after the Belgians pulled out was rather amusing.
Oh, what happened?
You know, until the very bad things happened.
Well, like the, what was it? Because there was a president and a prime minister, and the president dismissed the prime minister, and in response the prime minister dismissed the president.
Okay, that's funny.
Right up until one of them died, yeah.
Oh, that's
like,
unfortunate.
assassinated, died.
Ouch.
Like
yeah,
I said,
it's all
I
fun and games until you start the whole assassination and genocide route.
Yeah. Like I said, I probably shouldn't laugh at it, but sometimes you do just need to laugh.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, like, assassination is not the worst crime people have been guilty of.
I mean, I can't remember exactly. I'd have to look at my notes, but I don't think it was a good death.
Oh, that's not great.
Because I'm fairly sure it was like he got caught up to by the other faction. I think. I can't remember exactly. As I said, I'd have to look
This
at my
may
notes.
be a bit of a controversial opinion, but very few, like, non-natural deaths are good deaths.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say that there's no such thing as a good death, but a lot of unnatural deaths do tend to
Royally suck,
involve
yes.
more suffering than is perhaps reasonable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most of them tend to be very brutal and cruel. Like, honestly, of the presidents we've had who were assassinated in the U.S., I think Kennedy and Lincoln got off pretty light in terms of how quick it was. Just shot to the head and they're dead.
Well,
Sucks that they died,
Kennedy did suffer a little bit more, and I'm an expert in this now because I took an entire course on the Kennedy assassination over the summer.
Oh damn.
That's not a joke. That was basically the entire summer course I took. But the reason I say this is because he didn't die for the first shot didn't hit him, wasn't the one that killed him.
Oh,
First
I know
shot
that.
went through his neck, so he did suffer a little bit. It was very brief, relatively speaking, but
It was, what, a few seconds before the second shot?
yeah.
Yeah, and that one almost immediately killed him.
Yeah, it was practically instantaneous. It quite literally blew his brains out.
Mm-hmm. Poor Jackie Kennedy. He was right next to him when it happened.
Yeah, I've watched the Zapruder film now, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, but the other two presidential assassinations were McKinley and Garfield. Garfield's is a really nasty one.
That was the high priest of the temple.
I'm not familiar with those two.
So McKinley was the guy who was the president before good old Teddy Roosevelt, and he got shot by a disgruntled government employee. He lingered. He got shot in the gut though, so he lingered a while before he died.
That's never fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and Garfield also lingered for a while before he died, but in his case, the gunshot was not fatal in and of itself. He died from an infection caused by a botched surgery to get the bullet out.
Oh yeah,
It was like 3 days between him getting shot and him dying.
Oof.
So yeah, by far the most unpleasant of the four. Yeah, we've had, I believe, 8 presidents who died in office, and all but one of them died after being elected in a year that began, that was a multiple of 20. And the first one was, shit. I'm trying to, William Henry Harrison, that's what. Who also has the distinction of being the shortest lived president.
He died in 30 days, as the
Yep.
Simpsons song went.
Yep. Yeah, William Henry Harrison was the first one to die in office, and every 20 years, from him up through Kennedy, every single president elected in the year that began with 20 died in office. A year that's a multiple of 20 died in office. Every single one.
When did Biden get elected?
2020.
2020. Well, no.
The curse was broken
the-
by Reagan.
Oh, god damn it.
Of course. God damn it. Of all the people to break that curse, that'd be him.
Yeah, Reagan actually did suffer assassination attempt, though. He did nearly die.
God damn it,
Yeah, it is one
competent
of the-
Americans can't assassinate a president properly.
The funniest
It
thing
is-
is, like, he wouldn't have been in danger if the bullet hadn't ricocheted off of his bulletproof limousine. Like, the bullet strip ricocheted off his bulletproof car.
Didn't someone also try and stab him with a ricin-tipped umbrella?
I don't know how true that is. I do know that the nearest account we have for Bush being on the receiving end of an assassination attempt was someone throwing a shoe at him. So that's funny.
Secret Service doesn't
Yeah,
take
we
that
all
one
remember
well.
that.
Yeah. Apparently Secret Service does not take references to that well.
Yeah, I'm not
Really?
shocked.
I mean, it's something of a failing for them.
Oh, references to assassinations in general?
Well, yes, references to assassinations in general, but the shoe thing really, really got them some grief.
Yeah, because the Stu just was in on a press conference and just chucked whole shoes at Bush.
Which, to be fair, it's not like they could have done much unless they, like, actively had everyone take their shoes off. Like, after a certain point, you have to take a certain amount of risk, because, like, the alternative is you force everyone around the president to be naked at all times.
Which, I'm sure certain presidents would absolutely love that, but most of them probably find that uncomfortable.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure if you look, this shouldn't be a hot take. I'm pretty sure if you can get to the point where you're the president of the United States, you are a terrible person who is probably a little freak.
I mean, I don't really necessarily agree with that, but even if I did, like, not every person who is an awful person is an awful person in that particular way.
No, but like, I'm pretty, like, I don't see how you disagree with me. Like, I'm pretty sure literally every president in history is guilty of war crimes.
I'll make an exception. I'm looking for.
I don't know about in history, but a lot of presidents have some skeletons in their
Well,
closet, yes.
in history, they were guilty of other things, like all sorts of bigotry.
Oh yeah, even Lincoln.
Especially Lincoln.
To be fair to Lincoln, he did, like, towards the end of his life, he was becoming a much better person about the equality of the races. Like, it was something that he shifted his stance on during the course of his political career quite a bit.
We've been going for 2 hours, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we can probably end now.
Yeah, very interesting topic to end on. That's for sure.
Look, it's not that strange by our standards, honestly.
No, it's really not.
So yes, thank you everybody for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed us again talking bullshit in between Discord fucking up.
Yep.
In terms of future stuff, Tuesday, I think we're gonna try and do another Baldur's Gate stream.
We shall
I would
try.
love that.
We will at the very least try. Thursday, possibly the same or something else. Saturday, what are we doing Saturday again? We've definitely got a podcast scheduled for then. Oh, no. Thursday, I think we're doing the Dresden Files. Yeah, we're doing Dresden Files on Thursday. I'm not sure why we're doing it.
Alright.
Right.
Not sure why we're doing it on Thursday in particular, but we are doing it Thursday. So the gaming thing will be on Saturday instead. And then next Sunday, I think we should be available.
We should
for
be back to
D&D.
D&D.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we should be back to D&D. So again, thank you for watching. Please do give us a follow here on Twitch and on the website that shall not be named, at storytime_net there. And of course, all that YouTube stuff that I have too much dignity to say.
Please give us a like, a subscribe, and a comment on YouTube if you're watching it there.
Yes.
I don't have any dignity. I don't care.
It just makes me feel like
He
dirty
doesn't have
inside.
any dignity, and Discord won't let him have dignity because Discord is being a dick right now.
But otherwise, again, thank you for watching, and
God damn it.
thank you for watching, and hopefully we will see you on Tuesday, hopefully for more Baldur's Gate. Good night.
Alright.